Greetings, greetings, lover of fear. Your choices, all about the choices. Doing the 48-hour readings for Capricorn through Gemini for Thursday and Friday, the 29th and the 30th. Yes, we are late today. Energy has been very, very heavy. And have had to spend a great deal of time and energy meditating. So, I have to light my incense. Energy is fluid. It can be reversed. It could be, past, present, future. Although it is set for Thursday and Friday, October 28th and 29th. 29th and 30th. I have the dates wrong. It could be at any time. Masculine and feminine refers to the energy balance, not male and female. Should another party show up in your reading. This is for your own guidance, of course, as always, for your movement through whatever is going on in the moment or will be. I am going to start including a recommendation that you check, the other readings as well, just because it may not be the most prominent showing of energy in your reading or for your reading. Does not mean that what is going on for others may not also resonate for you. It just may not be the strongest thing going on. So you may find some guidance and insight in the others. So, this is what is the collective for a particular sign that is most pressing or most demanding, what have you. That does not mean that it is the only situation that is going on for you. So, do suggest checking out the others, particularly if the titles sound like they might resonate. So, without further ado, we begin with Capricorn for your 48-hour. See what you got going on. And it has been, Spirit has been really active the last week. And so my energetic reserves are pretty maxed out. So if it feels to you guys like a little bit on the low side, the Spirit's been really busy. So that's the reason I'm late in doing these, because I wanted to make sure to clear my energy before reading for you guys. All right, Capricorn. Overall energy for Thursday and Friday, please. Overall energy for the 29th and 30th. Most immediate relevant past, please. Present energy for Capricorn, please. Most likely immediate outcome for Capricorn in this situation. Most immediate likely outcome. Most likely immediate outcome, please. Thank you. And most likely overall outcome for this situation, please. Most likely overall outcome. Somebody's got some shadow work going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's an interesting double card. I wish I knew all the Chinese zodiacs. There's definitely something emotional going on. Okay. Well, good job, Capricorn. Your current energy is the devil in this deck. It's almost comedic. So I feel like that's a very superficial kind of energy, like really boisterous, partying, hanging with the guys or the gals, and not really paying a whole lot of attention to what is within. So it feels very egoic, very external, party, lighthearted, pretense, covering up, masking. Masking feels like a lot of masking in this very social, which is a challenge right now, but it's the general energy. It may not be what you're actually physically engaging in, but that's the energy coming through. Most immediate past, 5 of Cups in reverse. Now, normally 5 of Cups in reverse is about loss and sorrow, but not in this particular deck. Oh, not upright anyway. It's more like, again, ego, pride. This is the one I want. I don't care about the rest. I have what I want, and everything else is pointless. Came out in reverse, though, which tells me I was going to say indecision is what I felt, but it doesn't quite capture it. It's not really indecision. It's more like settling. It's settling because of it's not going within. Yeah. It's not necessarily, it's not that it was necessarily a bad or negative thing, just didn't really hit that level of truth and desire. It was more like a casual, meaningless sort of, it's not what you actually want, but acceptance of it anyway. And a lot of it comes from this sort of egoic attitude of external. It's more almost like being in a relationship just to say you're in a relationship, but you chose based on something superficial, like maybe looks or status or something that would have been valued by others, seen and valued by others. And it's very much going in line with this particular devil card. Present energy, 6 of Cups in reverse, which I almost thought this was the 10 of Cups, really. 6 of Cups is usually holding on to the past, but in this particular card, I feel things differently. This whole deck, I feel very differently. And it's this disconnect within yourself. It's that same settling energy. but it's more like coming to the realization of the settling. Coming to the realization of that settling and reflecting on what brought that to the surface, what actually, so starting to move more into yourself rather than outside yourself. So this is kind of a slow looking inward. I feel like you're still in this connection, this superficial connection, but you're really kind of starting to look at it. You're really kind of starting to examine your cups and looking back at the beginning, looking back at what started this, looking back at the reasons, looking back at the desires. What is this actually fulfilling for you? And it feels like you have a bit of ways to go before you really kind of start moving through this. It feels like you're just kind of starting to enter it. Which then, and it makes sense, leads you to the Knight of Coins, which is stability and abundance. And in this particular case, it is external, appearing. Now, in a traditional Knight of Coins, it's a very slow movement toward something. In this case, I feel like it's a very slow movement away from all of this. And what is showing on the outside is a reflection of what is going on inside. This is not a rapid process for you, Capricorn. Yeah, you're starting to move, even though this has the appearance of being very egoic because of the fanciness and everything else. This is really more about finding that, at least in this reading for you right now, this is more about finding that stability within, finding that abundance within, rather than in these superficial things that might have the appearance of being admirable. But if you look at the difference in what is showing, what is within is reflected externally. Okay, so the truth of what is within is showing very, very clearly here. Very clearly. Here, you see something completely different. But don't expect an overnight transformation. There's a lot to look at here. I mean, 4 of the cups are right here, and you've got 2 of them that are kind of far apart. That's the disconnect that shows up here within the self and how it's manifested, and looking at your options, looking at what have I created for myself. So it's kind of both reflection of internal and external. So it's going to take some time to kind of get all that to be cohesive in a way that makes sense to you. Overall outcome, Ace of Cups, upright. It's all about the self-love, baby. It's all about your inner guidance and intuition. It's all about recognition of your true desires and the self-love to fulfill them. Because this is the point where your own cup is full, and therefore you are in a state of abundance to share what you have without compromise, without settling, without ego, but in your own highest truth. This is beautiful, Capricorn, to go through this kind of transition. This is slow. But if you've not already begun this process, you know, you may still be in this energy here, in which case this is guidance to start moving into this energy and looking at the things that are driven and what that are they driven by. Are they driven by ego, or are they driven by self-love? And understanding and learning to distinguish between the two of them, because one can look like the other. Ego can look like self-love, and self-love can look like ego, especially if we're not accustomed to it. It'll seem selfish. But I encourage changing that language when it's genuinely loving and compassionate towards self to self-fulfillment. Changes our perceptual dynamic tremendously. So Capricorn, I hope that helps you move forward into that Ace of Cups. Do keep in mind this is a slow process. So that doesn't mean, you know, go home and break up with your partner. It means take some time to go within and look at what was your purpose? What was your truth in it? Because you may find some self-deceit in there. All right, Capricorn, that's it for you. Aquarius, October 29th and 30th. Well, until next reading anyway. See what you guys got going on, Capricorn. And I said Capricorn again, it's Aquarius. Maybe there's something between Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius also, I am encouraging visiting the other signs as well, just because the energy that is pulled for you now is what shows up. That doesn't mean that is the only thing going on. So you may get some additional guidance or benefit from some of the other signs. It doesn't even have to be in your chart. So, all right, Aquarius. Overall energy for Aquarius for the 29th and 30th. Overall energy for the 29th and 30th. Looks like you guys got two for... Crossed, interesting. King of Wands and Ace of Cups. Alright. Alright, Aquarius. Most immediate past energy relevant. Most immediate relevant past energy. Wow, you guys are just flying. Present energy for Aquarius, please. Present energy, Aquarius. Most likely immediate outcome for Aquarius, please. Most likely immediate outcome for Aquarius. Something flipped. You guys may have a bit of work with these reversals. Most likely overall outcome for Aquarius, please. Oh, right. Some changes going on. All right, Aquarius. Let's see what you got going on besides having too many fantasies or options, choices. Aquarius, your energy is that you're giving too much to someone and not enough to yourself. It's out of balance. You're out of balance. Yeah. I mean, it's just really coming through. You are putting way too much of your energy, your love and passion and drive and desire towards something else, someone. Really, I'm getting a someone outside of you, and really misdirecting that focus that is screaming to be attended to within. Ten of Cups in reverse. This particular Ten of Cups, even though it's supposed to be abundance and happiness and love and in relationship, this one is actually very careless, and very frivolous, kind of takes things for granted. In reverse, this energy pairs with this energy. You're taking it too seriously. You're prioritizing that over self. This is taking up too much of your emotional space. Or did take up too much of your emotional space. I don't know if it still is. Five of Coins in reverse. This is someone trapped. Upright. This is someone trapped in the external, which, you know, yeah. And the material and what looks good, has the appearance of being fulfilling and abundant. It is in reverse. So you may be starting to move out of this energy, this focusing too much on other and looking for that stability within. You may be starting to recognize that your inner sense of groundedness, particularly in these areas, is missing. And starting to release some of this energy and redirect it inward. You know, all that glitters is not always gold, is what comes to mind. Oh yeah, they've been messing with me hard. I am channeling like a fiend. Nine of Coins, upright. This is a very playful energy. It is about, in the traditional tarot, it is about one's independence, stability, being happy with themselves as they are, being single. In this particular card, this is a very playful, childlike, innocent, enjoying what is accessible in the moment. It is a very in the moment kind of energy. It is just taking what you have and just enjoying it. Not holding on to it, not gripping, not clinging, just enjoying. But it came out in reverse. So this is immediate future. This is probably a lesson, a growth process. And it's being a very uncomfortable, it's not so happy, it's not so fun, it's not so enjoyable. You know, you may have in some ways felt better in this energy. It felt good to take the focus off you and put it elsewhere. It's not so fun. The consequences are not so fun. So this is a natural progression of coming out of that, where it can get difficult, challenging. And there's a risk of falling back into this energy. With the card upside down, you can kind of see the circle here. And it looks like any second she could fall into, which suggests to me this would take you right back here. So this is kind of a word of caution. And as difficult as it is, do not lose your grip. Do not go backwards into this energy, because that's exactly what it would be. Because this overall energy is still with you. So it's going to take purposeful and intentional effort to keep your energy within and to focus on you, to focus on putting this cup of love towards self, to focus putting passion towards self. Okay, this card came out sideways. This one's in full reverse. So that does indicate this whole movement, this whole transition here. This is a rapid moving card in traditional. This one's a little bit more lumbering. And here we have multiple people, which also speaks to choices and decisions. Having to choose your movement and your direction, which comes back up in the Seven of Cups. Options, choices, daydreaming, fantasy. And it's all good stuff. It's all feel-good stuff. So I do feel like for some of you Aquarius, this is going to be very difficult to keep this momentum going. There is going to be this temptation and this desire to backslide, and you might, and if you do, then you just start over and keep, because even when we do that, we're still going to get further each time than we did the time before. Okay, this also speaks to subconscious ego, desires that aren't in our highest and greatest good, and sometimes we act on these without intention. That's why I said being very intentional with this is really important. So these are some of the potential pitfalls and blocks that could take you back to square one. And if that is what happens, do not give up. Do not stay in this falling into energy. You pick yourself up and you do it again. Because each time you will learn a little bit more about what your own true wants, desires, love, all of that is. And that's the whole point in this lesson. What is your truth? What is your true heart's desires? Heart's desires. Okay, and for you, that heart's desires has translated to something outside of you, to someone else. That's not the purpose here. The purpose is to fulfill within self, to get to this place where you see no other person here. You see environment, you see objects, you see animals. It's a playfulness with what is, rather than an investment and retracting from self. This is a full-blown investment into one's own fulfillment. And from that space, we can give to other. But this part has to come first. And before that, this part. So this transition is going on for you. Well, for this particular collective anyway. So I hope that helps and gives you a little bit of a heads up about, one of the challenges that could present. And, you know, if you do backslide, Aquarius, it's okay. Really. Because you will still gain immeasurable amounts of self-awareness. Even from that experience, it's not a failure. And Aquarius are fixed signs, so some of you may have a penchant for being pretty hard on yourselves. Self-compassion, gentleness, those are going to be necessary. All right, Pisces, let's see what's going on for you guys for Thursday and Friday and 30th October. You guys, you know, everybody's really doing a lot of inner healing and work. Well, and of course, it's what I'm going to pick up. But when we do that, that opens, that breaks everything open for true love. That's the whole point of all this. You know? All right, Pisces. Let's see what's going on. Overall energy for Pisces for the 20th and 29th of October, or 29th and 30th of October. Wow. You guys heard what I meant. Most immediate past energy for Pisces. 10 Cups again. You know, normally you like the 10 of Cups in a deck. Actually, in reverse, this one is good. Present energy. Good being relative, of course, in a matter of perception, but it's a higher vibration than 10 of Cups reversed in other decks. Ooh. All right. Most likely immediate. Wow. And most likely overall outcome. I don't like that coming out after the star card. Oh. All right. 10 of Cups in reverse. That's definitely being taking how you feel pretty seriously. Be cautious. You may be a little too much in the feels. Being connected with your intuitive self and your emotions is great. Balance. And the reason I mention this is because of this King of Swords in reverse. So we'll get to that. So there may be some imbalance going on. Some internal energetic imbalance between head and heart. I feel like you're trying to come at peace with something. Come to terms with something. In the emotional body. Or releasing, letting go. Is what it feels like. We'll see, Pisces. In transition, 2 of Staves, 2 of Wands. Sideways. A couple that has been together a very long time, and they are very dedicated. But they don't trap each other. They don't demand from each other. They are collaborative. They are equal. They are balanced. They give, they receive, and they give. No one takes. It's not give and take. It's giving and receiving. And it's mutual. Sideways. This started in the past and is presently continuing. I feel like it may be something that you are or were trying to build. There may be a break in this somewhere, a separation. We'll see. Star card. Traditional tarot, that's about destiny, wish fulfillment, desire, dreams come true. This is what you want right here. This is what is genuinely desired, and you are in a situation where you feel like this could be it. This could be the connection of a lifetime. This is your wish fulfillment. This is your destiny. This is how you feel about it. This is what you have wanted your entire life, which would explain the reason that you're very much in your emotions. But I also felt like there might be a little too much, creating some imbalance that actually shows up in the immediate future in the Five of Coins. Remember what I said about this couple? They give and they receive. It's balanced. There's no taking. That means there's no demand either. There's no expectation. There's an openness and a fluidity to it. There's no holding on to mistakes and errors. It's a releasing of things. And it's not a masking or a hiding from. It's an actual releasing. It may be in the form of you sit down and have a conversation and resolve, but you don't hold on to the emotional reaction, which occurs without thought. It is just, we feel a thing, we react. It's very in the moment and usually not in our best interest. So in the most immediate likely outcome, could be holding on to some of that. This is your wish fulfillment. This right here is your wish fulfillment, but it came out sideways because of this holding on to things that are perceived, not what is. What is, with all these together, with this Ten of Cups, this particular Ten of Cups in reverse. Now, if this were a traditional Rider-Waite, you would not want to see the Ten of Cups in reverse. You'd want to see it upright. But it carries a very similar energy in this deck for it to be in reverse. You're looking at what you perceive outside, externally. What you see, not what you actually know to be true. And you're allowing some of that to kind of create some things. They may not be big things, but this did come out sideways. Okay? So it's a word of caution. Overall outcome. Here we have it, Knight, King of Swords. The pretense of being wide open and vulnerable, but you're still holding those weapons. And you still have a guard. It did come out in reverse, which is in this, with this particular card, is good. Because if you look, he looks pretty insincere. I come in peace, but I'm not putting down my weapons. Overall outcome, it looks like you are moving more honestly and earnestly into rebuilding this balance. And trying very hard not to let go, to be honest with yourself and with your person. This is immediate past, okay, and it is carrying forward. However, by the time you get to this point, because this is where it started, is in the past, and it's sideways, so it's still in the present. You know, the recognition that this is your person, this is it, this is your happiness, this is your abundance, this is your fulfillment. There's stuff to work on. There's stuff to stabilize both within and externally. And the cards are showing that that is very likely to happen, so long as this changes. If this here doesn't change, and this hanging on and getting overly emotionally invested in the situation and reacting rather than taking the time to respond with truth within, not what you see, what you think you see, you could change this whole dynamic. So this is a practice of internal integrity and honesty with the self, so that way you can bring that out and make sure whatever it is that comes up brings this kind of balanced energy. The giving and receiving, not the giving and the taking. The respect. The holding loosely in love and commitment. So, Pisces, this is actually a very good reading, more of a here's something to watch for rather than all is doom and gloom. And so it's beautiful. It gives you the opportunity to, you know, make sure your footing is exactly where you want it to be for this connection, because this looks like a very, very beautiful connection. It's not big and passionate and loud and screaming. It's quieter and more stable and more genuine and more true than all that. It's not dramatic. So that's a really, really nice energy, Pisces. All right, Aries. Get y'all squared away here. Aries, what you guys got going on? Overall energy for the 20. Wow, Aries, you guys got something to say? Big time. Same card. Only yours is in reverse. Okay. Present energy. We'll see what that's about. Holy cow. Well, that's way too many. Aries, you got some mess going on, I feel like. Some drama. Just glanced at those cards with that one, and we'll see what, if any of those come out. But it's pretty obviously explosive. All right, Aries. I'm oddly, Aries, I am feeling some like angry, resentful energy. You know, some yelling, screaming, raging. So I don't know if that's what's going to show up. Most immediate past, we'll see. Present for Aries. Wow. Four cards. Might have been a different group of, we'll see. Most immediate outcome. And most likely overall outcome. Must have been a different group because that is not at all what's showing up, guys. Which is, I'm glad. Interesting. Give me a moment, Aries. This is really interesting. Aries, I kind of feel like maybe there's some illusions shattering about what you're involved in. And it does look like it is a relationship. Again, a lot of relationship readings today. Two of Staves. Suggest to go back to Pisces, because they got this card too, so maybe you're connected with Pisces in your chart. But this is a couple that really has a long-lasting, stable, balanced, giving, receiving, not giving and taking, as I told Pisces, giving and receiving, but yours came out in reverse. So I feel like this is something that you believed you were in. You thought this is the connection you had. And maybe that's why I got that anger energy, is this disappointment perhaps. So we've got, this is supposed to be immediate past. Queen of Cups, or Queen of Coins rather. And this is somebody who is, very well-to-do and very material-based, very grounded. She could be very maternal, very caring, and very, but there's, in this particular card, this is also somebody who is very focused on appearance. And decisions. One of the reasons for the grounding in this deck, the Queen of Coins has to have a certain presentation. So the stability is grounded in, really looking and examining the decisions that are being made, because they have to create that balance. They have to manage what needs to be managed. This is somebody who is very self-sustaining, self-reliant. That's part of their stability, but some of that self-reliance is also image. I don't need anyone. I can do this all by myself. It's very strong, very powerful. They're also nurturing. And some of that is for appearance. Because so much focus is on that external stability. And this is not necessarily a bad or negative energy to be focused on the safety and security of the household, the family, friends, that sort of thing outside of us. It's not necessarily negative energy. It does require a balancing energy. Enter Knight of Cups. Which I do very much feel like is your energy, Aries, but there is an awful lot of red in there. You don't usually see that much red in a Cups card. There's also a lot of red in this Queen. This is a knight, not a king. So I feel like you may have chosen to connect with someone that you feel is very high society type. First word comes to mind, and it's not a kind word at all, but what a lot of people might call a snob. But you saw something, you saw this with them. Okay, so you saw it through the external, or you thought you did. And you saw something lasting and stable and reciprocal and balanced, and carries longevity and commitment and dedication. You know, and Pentacles with Cups would do that if they were, quote, equal. All right, an equal exchange of energy. Here we have a queen, here we have a knight. And you see this knight is very well fed, looks very happy, but it also feels like this sort of superficiality sort of traveled. And there's kind of this, I think, more deeply, because this is a past energy right here, or moving, it is going to be a past energy. Like maybe it's not yet, but it's getting there, because there's starting to be this recognition. And you know, you're still feeling fulfilled in the situation for the moment. Yeah, it feels like this is getting ready to be a past energy. Because this energy is kind of just sort of slowly seeping in, and it may have started already. One of the reasons for that, because the Queen of Swords is the way she is. She is the mistress of the household. She is the dominant energy in this reading. Not you. Her is dominating the energy, particularly between the two of you. And there's a need for play, to enjoy, to experience. But it feels, with this going on, it feels like you regress a little bit, Aries. I feel like you kind of sink a little bit into a place that just doesn't take anything too seriously. You use whatever material abundance you gained from this connection. This could be a marriage, and you get divorced, and for whatever reason, you know, even though this is a queen and a knight, they could both be masculine males, they could both be females. It could be the knight is female, feminine, and the queen is male. You know, just because they're showing up a particular gender doesn't mean that it applies. And I kind of feel like whatever gains, material gains, occurred in this connection, you just kind of go and blow it. You know, you just go out and play, not taking anything too seriously. And I feel like that may be a mask. You know, a mask for the recognition that this connection isn't going to become this. And I do feel like this energetic realization is just beginning. So I don't think that you're really in this past yet. I think that's still moving forward. Overall outcome, 8 of Coins. Nine of Coins, short term. All this play with a 9, greater material abundance, down to an 8, which is all about work, hard work, labor. This is going and getting your own. This is, in this reading, I feel like this is using, well, it's frivolous, it's extra. You know, this is about reestablishing your own security. So I'm not sure exactly what goes on here. Like, everybody's situation is going to be different. I cannot tell if there's an actual break here. But there is this sense of disillusionment. There is this sense of frivolous masking. There is this sense of just loss of this ideal. And going back to roots. Going back to where did this not go wrong, but where did this change occur? When did it go from here to here? How did that happen? And kind of pursuing your own results, your own, like, instead of being the knight here, you're like, screw that. I'm going to get into the Queen of Coins on my own, on my terms, in my kind of way. Just be careful that this isn't what you actually become in this process because of loss and resentment and masking. You would rather be an honest, Knight of Cups that still has this desire, even if it's not working out with this one. And working for your own sense of independence and stability and joy and fulfillment, and to use your own resources to play in a more appropriate way rather than in a masking way. And it is through this mechanism, this leading to this, in truth, not in a frivolous masking way, that will eventually get you to here. Because in this process, you're gonna know how to handle this. Is this something where you need to rise up? Is it something where they have some healing to do within? Is it something where, you know, something in the past needs to be healed between? All of the above. Every particular situation in this case is going to be different. Whether you stay together or end up separate, don't know. I feel like for some of you there may be a little bit. I feel like there's more of an emotional separation at this point, an emotional disconnect. And that's kind of one of the reasons for you to go out on your own and rediscover you. So is it salvageable? Everybody's story is going to be a little different. So that's between you and that person. All right, Taurus. Let's see what we got going on for you guys. I really like this deck. I don't use it. I probably don't use it as often as I should, because it is such a different energy and it really does bring forth some different perspectives. I mean, they all do. They all pull in their own energy. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's not that the cards themselves carry their own. It's that they just, different energies are drawn to speak through. So, all right, Taurus, overall energy for Thursday, Friday, 29th and 30th. Most immediate past energy. Present energy for Taurus. Alright. Most likely immediate outcome for Taurus. And most likely overall outcome for Taurus. Let's see what we got going on. Taurus, I feel like somebody, you're coming into realization about somebody and their untruth or situation, that there's something hidden that is not serving you. Is like, I haven't even gotten into the cards, and feel like you are just really working to regain footing with yourself, to regain your own power. First sign in collective that stuff came in before even looking really at the cards. 5 of Cups in your overall energy. Wow, I really do get something different. Same cards, but I really do get... the last one, oh, I don't remember who it was, that got the 5 of Cups. It felt like a settling. With this, it feels like very similar. It's like a... wasted time. So kind of like a settling energy, but like you invested in one cup, released all other options, and now you're like, you know what, I'm not investing anymore in that cup. And I don't feel like it's your own cup. It's like, I've been giving and giving and giving. I gave up all this other stuff. It's more like a sacrifice. I sacrificed all these other options, made the choice to invest in this one. And I don't feel like it's a settling energy. I feel like it's just it's not what you thought it was. Almost a disillusionment, or maybe it's maybe what started out was there, and somehow things just transformed, or I don't know. It's like they just started not to jive anymore, and everything felt good for a long time. It feels like this is a long-standing kind of situation, but I'm just, you know what, and it may be one or both of you have grown and changed, and it's more like a growing apart that happens naturally when we start to evolve. I don't know if this is how you're perceiving the other person or other situation, what's going on toward you, or if this is how you're feeling in this connection. Immediate past, Ten of Swords in reverse. Now, normally a Ten of Swords is a card of pain and betrayal. You don't really see that here. You see guidance and directed communication. You see precision. You see movement. You see somebody that is wise and certain. But in reverse, the entire energy changes. These swords don't know where the hell they're going. So it's definitely something of unguided, undecided, uncertain, questioning, where do I want this energy to go? Where do I want? And swords are thoughts. Swords are thoughts, their communication, their expression, their messages. And it's just, it's very, I won't say random because it's not, because there's a cluster, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of thoughts. I'm feeling like maybe the communication, because it's all up here in the air or down here, you know, it's like they're flying around, you know, and they're all about the same thing, the same situation, the same circumstance, but it hasn't gotten to wherever it is they're supposed to go, or what they're about. It's still just sort of floating around inside the head. So we haven't gone from thought to communication here. Here it's very pointed, maybe even blunt. And I don't feel like it's deceptive. I feel like it's just a lot of uncertainty, confusion about what do I actually think. So it's kind of a conflict, but the thoughts tend to be pretty much along the same lines. You know, they're in this cluster here, so they're all kind of the same. It's just which ones do I pick to actually express? And this is in the most immediate past. Present. Huh. That one. Page of Staves. Page of Staves came out reverse with the Devil. If you look at this particular card, you can just feel it. You can feel this sense of wisdom, inner peace, awareness, connectedness with the self. Just everything is right. Everything is calm. Everything is good. You're walking through the woods and you're just connected to everything. And there's a sense of deep inner peace and appreciation and love. And you don't have to have stuff. You just feel at one. You feel one with everything that is, with a sense of compassion and love, which then creates a sense of peace. There's nothing wrong. That came out in reverse with the Devil card. So maybe the reason this hasn't come to expression is because of fear. And fear of possibly going within. Maybe fear of self, maybe fear of becoming that connected with yourself to be able to see. I gotta turn that down, guys, sorry. Okay. So it wasn't that loud when it started, and then it just got overwhelming, and I'm like yelling in the camera here. And there's disturbance, and it could be this devil represents this connection. And usually what is within shows up externally. So it really doesn't matter if this is the connection you're in, whether it's a person, situation, circumstance. You're carrying that energy within yourself as well. You know, so it's like there's fear there about this recognition. There's a hesitancy, like I know it's there. I'm really afraid to look at it. I am really afraid to look at what this could mean. And maybe something has come up here recently, especially with Mercury and this undirected swords energy, where you're just like, you're feeling this, but there's this, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready to confront this. I don't think I'm ready to actually go there. Yeah, I have these thoughts. I have these things I want to say. And I'm afraid of what'll happen if I do. So I'm just going to stay in this state of disconnect, detachment, and just avoidance of what is in my environment, and not, and stay in this state of egoic fear. You know, because there's a fear about what comes next. And this actually shows up in the Moon card. So the Moon is all about secrets and what's hidden. This is the hidden energies. This is what is, this is our highest self. The way I'm feeling this for you, Taurus, is this is like your higher self. And you see, she's all the way up here at the Moon, looking down rather than being within and offering guidance. There's I don't want to say rejection, but there's a block. And that block obviously would be the devil, that ego. There is a block to this connection, and you're still being looked after. You're still being looked over. You are still being guarded. There's only so much this energy can do when this is getting between you and you. You can't be in this abundant state of peace and compassion and enjoyment and love with that energy in the way. It's there. It's there. It's waiting for you. It's watching you. It's encouraging you from a distance. But in order to really get connected with this, you have to free yourself from this. And all these things that are not being said. Because they're still there. Those thoughts, those recognitions, this energy of this distance. Distance comes up twice here. And it could be distance with yourself. You know, it could be a disconnect with you. It may not be an external energy. The cups here would indicate, but if you are not in a connection, then this would be with self. If you are in a relationship, then I would say look at this. Definitely look within. It doesn't matter, really, relationship or not, look within, because this is, in order for it to be expressed externally, it's got to be there internally. So what's going on between you and someone else, or a situation or a circumstance, really doesn't matter, because the root of it is with the self. And not being forthcoming and honest and true with the self. So, most likely overall outcome, Knight of Staves. I feel like it's so neat how these cards just kind of collaborate. Knight of Staves came out sideways. Okay. And he's got a single wand too. So take a look at this guy. He's got that same calm. Knight of Staves in Knight of Wands in traditional tarot is very rapid moving. This one is not. This is a very, I know what I need to do, and I'll do it when it's time to do it. It's a very certain, confident energy. Someone who knows what their job is, knows what their responsibilities are, and they meet it with passion and compassion, and they move when it's time to move. They're very in tune, much like the King of Wands in a traditional tarot, very in tune with themselves, very aware, very empathic in a way. They know how to read a situation and move accordingly. And they know the type of swiftness with which to move. Now, take a look at him. Move ahead about 20 years. And you have him. See that? This guy came out reverse. And this guy came out sideways. So you know, you have some awareness. You feel this energy within you. The stop is this right here. And that fear is undermining your certainty and your confidence and your ability to move. It's keeping you stuck and stagnant. And maybe that's part of why this disconnect is occurring. This apartness. Maybe this would change. Not saying it will. You know your situation, I don't. But maybe this would change if you spoke your mind. If you went from in the head and the thoughts to communication. And that would certainly open the door to start eliminating this right here. When we face our fears, when we confront them, they start to dissolve. And you've got this energy to support you. You just have to connect with it. But you can't with that fear there. Because you're hiding from yourself, and therefore you're hiding from whatever else is outside of you. That is no longer serving. And that's what this is. Whatever the situation is, and it could be just this lack of communication, this lack of self-trust, this lack of connecting with your inner true self, it could simply be Your inner workings are no longer serving you for your highest and greatest good. You know exactly how this is all manifesting, but regardless, this is the energy. This is what's getting in the way. This is what is keeping you disconnected and not able to trust yourself, to speak your mind, to make that decision, to do what is good and right, which will bring you more of that sense of peace and compassion, more towards self. So, choices, Taurus, it's up to you, of course. Sometimes saying the things that are on our minds, it may be a difficult conversation, or maybe a difficult conversation with even just the self. It's still a difficult conversation. It's scary. But it's not until we get into action and do it, do we actually know what might happen. It may very well be your fears are completely unfounded and they're manufactured in the head. You know, which would also be that 10 of Swords. An illusion, something you're making up due to other associated fears. It may go further in, further back, but one thing at a time. So I hope that helps, Taurus. I hope that that brings some insight and whatever it is you need to be true to you. Gemini. Last one, Geminis. You know, it really blows my mind that 5 cards, you know, other readers get through a 5-card reading in 3 minutes. And mine go deep every time. I could do a 3-card reading and it would still be a 20-minute reading. Oh, and Gemini also, I don't remember if I remembered for Taurus, but I am encouraging everyone to, you know, check out the other zodiacs, because what is pulling for your energy is what is most prominent and what is most needed for you right now. But it's not going to be the only thing you're facing, confronting, dealing with, have going on. So I am encouraging everyone to, you know, check into some of the others as well and see what resonates for you. There may be additional guidance for situations outside of the one that energy is being pulled for. So I don't want anyone to feel limited because of their zodiac. That's just silly, and it's not helpful. So I did add that to the description box. That will stay there to encourage everyone. And if I do notice, you know, particular crossover energy, I will try to remember to note it, but I can't guarantee that will happen. All right, Gemini, overall energy for Thursday, Friday. Man, everybody's getting this 10 of Cups. Kind of says a lot, huh? Not everybody, but most. Most immediate past energy for Gemini. I forgot these cards like to talk. Present energy for Gemini. Present energy for Gemini. Gemini, you definitely have some connections going on here. You definitely might want to, what is it with you guys? Just like the immediate outcome. Gemini, you guys are just like been the most interactive energy. Most likely overall outcome. Okay. And most likely overall outcome. I think I said overall, but luckily they know what I mean. All right, Gemini. Well, this Ten of Cups, this is a transitional card. So is the most immediate outcome. And in between most immediate past, King of Swords. Now, this is a different, this King of Swords is different from, they're all different. They all carry a very different energy. This is a, upright, this is a very deceptive energy. Someone who comes in, or a situation that comes in that acts like it's pretty safe and benevolent, and it's really kind of not. It's fake. But reversed, in the immediate past, this is someone that has a lot of defenses, has the capacity to implement defensiveness, but they come in more genuine. They put down the swords, or the situation shows up more genuinely. They put down the weapons. They put down the guards. There may be still some hesitancy within them, but they are not positioned to attack under the guise of being peaceful. So this is someone that has the capacity to be very manipulative, and or was at some prior point in their own history, in their own story. But at this point where they showed up, they are not currently, or wasn't. We'll see if this is ongoing. Gemini, Knight of Cups. This is somebody just really happy and content and fulfilled, and obviously plenty of abundance. You know, it's like, kudos, cheerful, cheers, you know. There's really, with the energies that are showing up, there's just, the card actually is what it is. You know, there's no major dramatic significance to it other than what you see in the art. Which in this case, you know, it was different for one of the other signs, but for you guys, this is where you're at. Pretty gratified, pretty satisfied. And obviously within, otherwise it wouldn't be showing without. Now, this is where things get interesting. Ten of Cups reversed. This particular Ten of Cups is somebody who's careless. I feel like this is your energy. I think this is a maturing. Gemini. I really do. I feel like this is like an emotional maturing. And in fact, this King of Swords may have been you at one time. And so you are maturing from this frivolous, playful, playboy, playgirl, just really don't give a shit kind of thing, careless with other people's emotions, not really paying any attention to yours. I'm just going to have a good time. And transitioning into something a little more stable and genuine. You know, which I really am getting between these two cards. You know, this releasing. I mean, this energy was upright at some point, but it's been released, which would be that kind of whole playboy, pretending to be something, playgirl, pretending to be something you're not in order to get what you want, get people close to you, but then, you know, turn around stabbing them in the back. Not literally, but, you know, just, it's a very selfish, self-serving, like, come on closer, I'm safe. Really just manipulating to get what I want. And here you are in actual state of contentment. And I feel like these two energies are kind of working together. You know, it's sort of a looping, and that's part of what has changed this. So it may be that someone has come in and provided some guidance, or provided a situation in which, you know, you're just, or it could be you're just maturing. But that's what it feels like. It feels like an emotional maturation right here. Five of Staves. That's a conflict card. debate, argument. Just you got this one guy back here in the back. He's just sort of looking up at the sky, rolling his eyes, going, "Oh God, again." You know, can we just all get along? And a lot of times in this deck, I see this as being a very internal conflict. So we all have all these voices in our heads, and we're trying to make a decision in order to move forward, and we're just kind of stuck, and we're just not getting anywhere. And oh my God, can't somebody just make a decision and everybody else go with it so we can get moving? And you see kind of this stormy environment. Those are mountains and whatnot, but the sky is still kind of gray and overhung. And it's like, we just want to go home. Can we finish this meeting and do what we came here to do, make the decisions we need to make, and move on? So it's not like a violent kind of conflict. It's just not, it keeps everything from moving. You stay stuck in it until there's resolution. Obviously, there's not a lot of resolution. But yours came out sideways. So again, we're seeing this progression, getting some stability and this ability to move forward. I really do feel like these are moving into stability, not out of. Because we can regress, we can digress, we can grow to a certain point and backslide. That's not the energy I'm getting. I'm getting this is all forward moving, gaining these internal stabilities and feeding this sense of contentment. This is, Gemini, this explains a lot of what's been going on in your other readings. This is awesome. Not all of it, but this, man. Ace of Swords. Traditional tarot, it's about truth and coming forward. This one is actually a lot of movement. And it's like, yeah, I dare you to try me. Come on, bring it. It's almost like this guy is challenging this guy. Like he's like, oh, you know, come on, you know, you can trust me. I'm a good guy, but you know, he's got these swords he's still holding, right? I'm a good guy. He's doing it covertly. He's being sneaky, not honest, not truthful, manipulative. Good thing this is in reverse, right? And that would usually be the energy of a King of Swords in reverse. In this deck, it's the opposite. This Ace of Swords is like, you know, challenging him. What, you think you're going to get one over on me? This is, I am going to cut you with my words, because swords is communication and thought. This isn't an overthinking. This is I'm moving forward no matter what you think or what you think you're going to do. I am going to come at you, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. And I don't care how much you pretend that you're this, that, and the other. I don't care how fancy your clothes are. I don't care how many guards you have. I don't care. I am coming at you, and I'm not playing, and I will win. There's that certainty. There's that sharpness of your truth, of your decisiveness, of your, this is what I'm moving into, which really does strongly correlate to the resolution of this energy. So this inner conflict is absolutely, here it is confirmed. Any inner conflict going on is coming to a conclusion. This is knowing your strength. This is knowing your power. This is knowing your own mind and not being afraid to move toward your desires, your needs, whether it's speaking your mind, going in. I mean, this is like crazy confident. Just word of caution. You are also the Knight of Cups. An Ace of Swords is an ace. And you've got this 10 of Cups that you're coming out of. You've got a 10, you've got a Knight, you've got this ace. Keep it balanced. Do not let thought overrule heart and vice versa. Keep them in balance. Don't get overly cocky. And Gemini, I do feel like that could be a risk for you because of that extreme and duality. So this is a great energy to be in. Just keep it balanced. And eventually this Knight of Cups will become the Ace of Cups. Especially with that 10 of Cups transitioning correctly. And then you will have really a solid balance in thought and emotion. And that automatically results in, to me anyway, you get thought and emotion collaborating rather than conflicting, which is what this is. This is Five of Wands is exactly that. The conflict between head and heart. Because Wands is about passion, and movement into passion requires, guess what? Both head and heart. So I feel like when you have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, you automatically kind of get the Ace of Wands. Ace of Pentacles is on its own. That's external. This Ace of Pentacles is the manifestation of the other aces showing up outside of us. These aces are about what's inside of us. So this is awesome. Just watch the extremes, keep things in balance. You've got a good set going for that balance. So just don't lose sight of it. All right. Well, that's it for Thursday to Friday, the 48-hour reading for Capricorn through Gemini. I hope that helps you guys move more into your best life, authentic, abundant, fulfilling life. If I do these readings, it is not for love with other, although that does show up, as you guys can see. This is about love within self and healing the shadows. Not everybody's favorite subject. That's what I'm here to do. So, if you'd like more insight, what's going on in your own personal shadow world, what needs healing, what is blocking you, what is stopping you from moving forward, let me know. Other than that, blessings. Have a wonderful Halloween. There will be postings over the next couple days, so in the meantime, have a great one. Yeah.